Hi guys, my name is Arasko Wangeshi. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for being here and also watching my YouTube videos. Don't forget to subscribe. So on today's video, I want to get vulnerable a little bit and share my healing journey. That is my how I discovered my nervous system was so dysregulated and how I started regulating it. And I'm still I'm still in the process of healing, because healing doesn't end. It's a process and you have to trust the process and also be patient with yourself, because it's not a one day journey. It can take even years, few years, and many years, I don't know, but it's not a one day journey. It can even take some years for you to get there. For me, I went through abandonment, traumas, that is childhood traumas that I think I was not supposed to be exposed to them, but they happened. And when they happen, you can't be a victim and victimize yourself all your life. It reach it reaches a point where you take accountability and realize that no one is coming to save you, or no one is there to heal you unless you you heal yourself and do the work. You have to do the work. So I I went through some traumas, I can say betrayal and abandonment. Okay, I'm not here, of course, I'm not here to blame anyone. I have healed, but again, people go through different stuffs and different scenarios in their life. And at the end of the day, it's how you allow yourself to heal and how you work on yourself, because you have to work you have to do inner work so that you can release the unprocessed emotions that are installed in your body. And now it was in 2015, and my nervous system and my body went to survival mode because of the stuffs and the things that were going on at that particular time. And I remember I was in college and I was doing my final exam, and my fees was not paid in full. And I remember, okay, my mom is an amazing mom and she has been there through thick and thin, and she has been present. So growing up in a one parent household, it comes with its own difficulties. If at all the one parent is struggling. This story of me dropping in college because of finances was one of the stories that I've never shared with anyone, because my heart was cut deep. It has been wounded for so many years until I started healing. So that's one of the scenarios that got me to survival mode. And I remember I called my mom crying, and I shared the story. I told her, you know what, mom, we are told we are not going to do the exam because I've not completed the school fees. And she came immediately to negotiate so that maybe she can be heard, but they never had her. I remember calling I remember calling someone who I thought would be there for me at that particular time, and they never picked the phone. And I remember I was so disappointed and I was crying. At that time, you are comparing yourself with your friends, and the people you are with in high school, you know, they are encouraged, why me, why me, why me? But again, that happened and life had to go to move on. Another scenario, the same dad who I carried his name called us and he asked us what we wanted, and myself, I wanted to complete college so bad. And I said, you know, he told me, do you want a business or do you want to go back to school? So I told him I told him, you know what, for me, I want to go back to school. And also my brother had to share what he wanted. I said, you know what, I want to go back to college and complete where I left. And he told us, you know what, on 30th, I remember so well, on 30th, I I will fulfill the, you know, he quoted a certain amount of money. I will send you this amount of money so that you can go and pay college and you can complete. And now I was so hopeful, you know, I will, you know, as a young person, there are desires you have, you visualize, I want my life to be like this, I want my life to be like this. So I was so hopeful, and the same the same situation and recurred, and he never fulfilled the promise. So I felt so bad, and I remember calling everyone that was there, you know what, so and so is not picking our phones, you know, the promise he never fulfilled. But you know, he wrote me a big message, this is a parent I knew since I was young, that, you know, I was so hopeful that this person will be there for me, but he was not. So that was me lying to myself in my head, and he never fulfilled the the promise. So what did that do to my nervous system? I remember crying, and I cried for one day, and I hated myself that time. And you know, when life, I was jobless, I was living with my mom. So there is this time you start hating yourself, and you start victimizing yourself, and that's how I was doing. I used to victimize myself. I wish I had a present dad. I wish I was not abandoned. I wish I was not betrayed. I wish I had a dad like so and so. You know, you start comparing yourself with the others, you know, your friends and even family. You know, I wish I was so and so. And what that did, that's when my nervous system went to survival mode. And I had this feeling in me like I will never beg anymore. I will never beg anyone for any money. I will never, and I will never. And I became, it's like I became rebellious, or I don't know, but there is this deep feeling I will never beg anyone for anything anymore. And that's how I went to survive. I never knew that that was a mechanism from my nervous system to protect me from the things I was going through all that time. And now after, I'm just giving you a story to show you how I went through survival mode. So mine was through abandonment, betrayal, of course, because of the fake promises. So others go, it depends with what you went through. Others go to survival mode because of traumas, stress, depression, grieving. It depends with what you are going through. So situation might be so different. So myself, since that day, few years later, I used to be so emotionless. I used to be emotionless, and you know, before that I was an empath. I would cry because of anything. If anyone did so bad to me, i would I would not confront them. I would rather cry, cross myself somewhere and cry. But now there's something that happened in my body. I was so it's like I was a bit brave. Like I was, I don't care what people do. Yes, I was just surviving. You know, when you are survival mode, you get overwhelmed. You are just surviving, and you don't want anything. You are not excited easily. That was me. And now, few years later, that was in 2015. That happened in 2015 or 2015, if I'm not wrong. Yes, 2015. And now, years later, I got a job, I started working. I was busy, but deep down I knew something was wrong. So I started researching. Just one curious person. If I feel something is not okay, I used to to search on YouTube mostly, and also Google, but YouTube helped me so much. So I did some few research, and I saw other people talking about it, and that's when later I remember in 2020 COVID came, and not even COVID, TikTok was so popular in Kenya that time in 2020. I remember that's when I joined, and I had a feeling. I started also doing my research, and after giving birth, I can say in 2021, I had my daughter in 2021, and you don't know how deep wounded I never knew how deep wounded I was until I gave birth. After postpartum depression and everything that is happening in that particular time, the traumas that I had and the emotions that I suppressed, they manifested in that particular time. And I used to feel so bad. I used to share with my husband, and I shared with him how I was feeling. I feel, but I thank God because he was so listening. He was listening to me, and he was supportive. So I would share, I feel like this, I feel like this. And that's when I realized how much I was wounded. And now I discovered I would get angry. I had this so much anger in me. Now you have postpartum depression, and now the emotions that and the traumas that I went through, uh, they are installed in our body. And I I knew I had a problem. So I went on researching, and I found other people who are talking about nervous system on TikTok. That's where I I got all the information, and also YouTube. I used to watch YouTube, some podcast, and those who are talking about nervous system and stress, anxiety, because I had them all. Now, so after discovering I have a problem, of course, I took the accountability. One thing about me is, after realizing that I have a problem, I never victimize myself anymore. And there before, I used to victimize myself so much, and I used to feel like a victim of circumstances. If I had a dad, if if this, I would be this, you know. But I later came to realize, you know what? I'm the one who is, I'm the manager and I have all the power of my life. I'm the author. Yes, I'm the author of my life, and I'm the one to change my identity and not relate with the old me. The old me might be a wounded girl, uh, an abandoned, and yeah, this all a betrayed girl, but I don't want to associate myself with that all my life, because I won't fulfill my dreams, because no one is coming to save me at the end of the day. So I did that, and now that's when my healing journey started. I said, you know what? I don't want to live in survival mode. You know, you feel comfortable in that state. You definitely feel comfortable. And coming, it's like coming from a hole deep down, a hole that is, I don't know if you're understanding me, but it's like pulling yourself from a hole that is so deep, and you don't want, there is comfort down there, so you don't feel like coming out from that situation. And I had so many I had so many, you know, when you are in that state, you definitely ask yourself, do I want to come from this state, or do I want to live like this? Because let me tell you, that state is so comfortable, very comfortable. And if you don't realize, you can live in that state all your life. And trust you me, you not fulfill even your dreams in that state, because a dysregulated nervous system equals to no creativity, procrastination, what else? Fear, shame. And I used to carry all that. I used to carry all that. I used to have chronic shame, and you know, shame is so inherited. You inherit it from your lineage. Shame, fear, they are so inherited, and you have to heal them, so that, you know, if you have, I used to have social anxiety, and I never knew that my nervous system was contributing to that, because I used to, let's say I'm in front of people, and maybe I'm the one to talk to people, I used to shake, and my legs used to shake so bad. And when I discovered that some of the trauma, betrayal, abandonment are stored in your inner hips and your inner thighs, oh my god, I used to shake. And when I started working on myself and I healed those traumas, I can even face the camera. I have done a lot of work. I used to stammer. Oh my god, I used to stammer. You know, your jaw, even we even store trauma in our jaw. And you, let's say you want to talk something but you can't, you start stammer, it's like words are not coming out from your mouth, but it's because you have traumas. And when you have trauma even blocks your throat, and that's why you feel like words are not coming out. I was that person for the longest. And me even facing the camera and sharing my thoughts, oh my god, I'm so proud of myself. I can say that I have done the work. and it's not easy. It's not easy coming from survival mode. So now I started the journey and I discovered some of the techniques you have to do so that you can heal the fear, the shame, all those. So one of it was meditation. I started meditating. I can see sometimes I'm not consistent, but I usually meditate. So another practice that helped me to date is somatic exercises. Somatic exercises are a game changer, and the the trauma I had in my inner hips and my thighs, right now I'm not even shaking. I can stand in front of people. And also kitambo, before that I couldn't. I used to shake like a leaf, shaking like someone who is sick, or I don't know. But when I discovered all these things, I was so happy. I don't want to be that person. I want to change my identity. I don't want to associate with the wounded girl who is not healed, who is always victimizing herself and not working on herself. I changed my identity. And when you heal, you change your identity. You no longer associate with the traumas you went through. You no longer blame anyone. Yes, you no longer blame anyone for the things that happened to you, because right now I can never change anything that happened to me there before. I can only change the things that are coming. The things that I have the power to change is the things that are happening now, and right now, of course, right now. So many people live in this state for so long, and they don't know how. They don't know how to come out from the situation, and it's a bad state. Yes, your nervous system does that to protect you, but it's a state where you don't even have creativity. Your creativity is blocked. What I've discovered: heal your nervous system and discover you can do more. You can do more as a person, and the goals you have, you can face them without fear. Because if there is something that holds us back, is fear. I used to have fear in my heart. I used to, when I think I want to do something, I used to have this fear. And fear is a result of dysregulated nervous system. Fear, shame, guilt. You feel guilt. You don't want to disappoint people. You are a people pleaser. I used to be a people pleaser. If there is something I have promised myself, I cannot be a people pleaser in my 20s and also in my 30s. I refuse. You don't even know how to say no. You can't say no because you don't want to disappoint others. You don't want something, but you rather lie because you want to please them. And that is a bad life. That is a bad life. All these patterns, we pick them from the backgrounds we came from. And we are not here to shame them. No, we are not shaming anyone. We are not shaming those who brought us to this world. But after discovering that you yourself, you have a problem, we can't, it can't be a cycle that you dump the traumas from yourself to your generation also. So that's a cycle of generational traumas. You are a people pleaser, your parents were a people pleaser, then your kid becomes a people pleaser. We are not here to do that. We are here to learn and unlearn the things we can, because we have to unlearn so many things. What I can add someone today and give them advice relating to their nervous system. You see, the procrastination you have, it's not because you are bewitched, it's because your nervous system is so dysregulated. And these things hold us back. You can imagine you wanted to start something and you have been postponing all your life, even years. People postpone many things. You want to start something but you can't, because it's because of dysregulation. And many people don't know this. We are not taught in school. Some of us, where we come from, we you can never learn these things in school. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know. If they wanted us to know, at least they would teach us in school. But again, we have to learn like I learned. Because surely, if it was not my curiosity, I would be in a bad state. And continue with the cycle. Continue with the cycle of unhealed generation. Because let me tell you, the pattern screams so bad. So bad. The patterns scream so bad. But again, myself as Wangeshi, I felt I don't want that life. Oh my God, I don't want to repeat the same. Oh, I learned meditation that time. Starting them is also a process, because you have to keep the consistency. And it's not, you have to keep the consistency, and it's not easy. You have to work. So I started doing the meditation, I started doing the somatic exercises, EFT tapping. You have to tap and say the words loud. Yeah, and you start yawning. That is a sign that the emotions you are releasing those. Yeah, and you are releasing the emotions, and your nervous system is regulating, so you might yawn. And also the somatic exercises, some of them you can even cry. There are some of the poses that you do, they are so hard and you can cry. And also it's a process of, it's a sign that the traumas are releasing, your body is releasing itself, because those traumas are stored in our body. So what I can urge someone who is going through dysregulation and you are in a survival mode, please work on yourself, because dysregulation comes with so many bad things in your life. You don't want to procrastinate all your life. You don't want to victimize yourself all your life. You don't want to just survive. You're just walking and you don't feel like you lack creativity, you lack, yeah, it's like all negative things towards yourself, and you don't even believe in yourself because you have fear. And you know, dysregulation also comes with fear of being seen. I used to be that person for long. I used to have social anxiety, and even today, facing the camera and sharing my thoughts, oh my God, I'm so proud of me. I'm so proud of me. And I want to be that person that can open the camera and share my thoughts, because why not? And by the way, you realize when you heal, you realize no one cares. No one cares. Even if you come here and I used to have so many insecurities. I used to feel like my English is not okay, but my jaw and my throat was was blocked for the longest. I would even talk, but I would stammer. I would stammer. But right now you can hear I'm even conversing. Oh my God. Oh, sometimes you can't even believe it's you. But trust you me, the healing journey is worth it. It's worth it. You are the one who knows what you want in your life. You can face you can face what you want with courage. But when you are driven with fear, shame, and guilt, you can't, because first of all you're asking yourself, what will people say, what will people think of me? And that was, I'm talking, I was wearing those shoes, and let me tell you, they don't fit. They don't fit. And I don't think there is anyone who wants to stay in that state. So what I can urge you today, please work on yourself, and no one is coming to heal you. So you have to do the work. You have to do the work, and don't expect the results to be tomorrow or the other day. You have to give grace to yourself and also be patient. And also another thing that I have forgotten, when you are that person who victimized themselves all the time, and now you have healed, you have started your healing journey, those type of people will drag you back. Because tell me why. Let's say you have you have changed your identity, you have changed your frequency, you have changed your thoughts. Because when you start healing, you have to change all these things. You have to change your identity if you want to heal. You can't associate yourself with the old you, and the old you equals to your old thoughts and how you used to relate with yourself. But now when you start your healing journey, if you associate yourself with people who are unhealed, they can drag you back. By, let's say you have a thought, or you have a vision, you share with them, but because they have fear and shame and guilt, they will sabotage your dream. So you should be so careful at your healing journey. You have to drop the people who are not in the same journey, because they will drag you back. I know some are our family members, some are. So we are not here to shame anyone, but when you start your healing journey and changing your identity, not that you are now you have pride, but you have to set your boundaries. Yes, you have to set your boundaries, because you don't want other people to drag you back, and they can drag you back to where you came from. That's all for today. I guess that's all for today, and I I that's all for today. If you feel like starting your healing journey, please do. It's worth it. Let no one tell you nothing. It's worth it. Work on yourself. You are you know yourself, so do whatever you want to do, but healing is worth it. So please do that, and you'll see the results. So my name is underscore Wangeshi. Thank you so much. So don't forget to subscribe and also like, share, and share your thoughts. And if you are in that state, survival mode, please show up for yourself. Show up for yourself. Be there for yourself. Give yourself grace, because no one will show up for yourself if you don't do. And also know that the journey is bumpy. Don't expect it to be so smooth. Be patient with yourself. I can say patience is all required in this healing journey. So no one is coming to save us unless we save ourselves. So bye bye.